Welcome to Om Times TV, a division of Om Times Media and Broadcasting. Welcome to Ascending with Venus Castleberg, a space where we explore the journey of spiritual awakening, expanding your consciousness and raising your frequency to create a whole new world. We'll dive into the possibilities that open up when you choose to follow the whispers and trust your inner knowing. Each episode is designed to guide you in expanding your awareness, tuning into your intuition, and discovering the magic of your life every day. We'll talk about living aligned with your soul's purpose, going beyond limitations, and creating a life and a world worth celebrating. You are here to embrace who you truly are and step into the infinite potential that's waiting for you. Let's ascend together. And now, here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? If you're with me live, please say hello in the chat. I love to see that there's actually people out there. I'm actually looking forward to today's topic, although I will say that today's topic is personally uncomfortable for me, especially when I'm in the middle of it. I'm actually somebody who welcomes change. Hi, Lindsay, welcome. And I actually look for change quite often, but I will not say that when I go through big changes, it's not uncomfortable because it is uncomfortable. And that's kind of the nature of change, right? Things change. You might be somebody out there who's had a spontaneous spiritual awakening, or maybe you're on the spiritual path and you've had some changes. You've had some new awarenesses, you've had some new abilities pop up, and the people that you've been hanging out with don't really match. They're not resonant with you anymore, right? They don't resonate. You don't, or you don't connect with them the same way. There's just the frequency has changed, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it is something to acknowledge and be like, okay, I've changed. The people around me haven't necessarily changed, and maybe they don't want to change, right? That's the other piece you want to look at for yourself is like, you might want change, or you might have been asking for change. Hi, Kimberly, welcome. But the people around you aren't asking for that change, right? So there's kind of a lot of different pieces that go into this that I'll touch on today. But first of all, I just wanted to reach out and say, like I always like to say, even if it feels like everything around you changing and maybe the rest of reality hasn't caught up with you, and things might feel a little uncertain, you're not alone. And you have a whole team, which I want to talk about as well, because there's something with that as well, but you have a whole spiritual team with you. I will say this too, I think this is important to remember. So, I like to talk in metaphors or analogies. Analogies. I don't have English today, so bear with me. Analogies. So let's say you're somebody who says, I'd really like to have a new relationship. Now, it's kind of difficult. It's not impossible, and people do it all the time. But I'm saying there is something that happens when you're actually single, looking for a new relationship, versus being in a relationship and then looking for a new relationship. I've done both, right? So I'm not, there's no judgment here ever. It's just a matter of like, okay, it's a little easier if you have this space for a new relationship to attract a new relationship. So the same is true when, let's say you're making some changes, you're different, right? I've shared this before, but some of you may not know it. In my 20s, I partied like a rock star. Literally like a rock star, out dancing, clubbing, copious amounts of drugs, alcohol, sex, the whole 9 yards, right? And when I turned 30, I quit cold turkey, and I left. But when I quit cold turkey, all the people that I used to hang out with, all the people that were my friends, they were all still doing drugs and alcohol and dancing, hi Bob, clubbing and all those things. And so I had to let them go to make space for something new, something else. I had to let go of old friends that didn't match my frequency anymore, right? So that didn't match where I wanted to go, because maybe even at that time, I wasn't even quite clear what I wanted to do or where I was headed. I was very much not aware of any of that. But I knew I needed something different, right? So to be willing to like let go of things, it could be anything, right? But anything that you know is not in the vibration or the frequency of your own ascension path, right? There's no right or wrong, good or bad ascension path. Everybody's is different, everybody's is unique, and there's no, formula for it. But like, right? There might be a relationship that's holding you back. There might be a program, or a group of people that you're associated with that's holding you back. Mine was a whole group of people. They were all my friends, and we met and went out clubbing 4 nights a week, and then recovered for 3, and sort of worked a job, But again, like, you might be saying, oh, maybe you're already going through a change. Maybe you've recently gone through a change, or maybe you really want to go through a change. But there's sometimes that wanting or that desire to make a change comes with a sacrifice, a letting go of something that's no longer serving you or no longer in the frequency of where you want to go, right? So you might have this desire to be, I don't know, abundantly wealthy or abundantly healthy, or have an abundance of spiritually like-minded friends. Well, me, now mind you, I didn't really have spiritual friends when I was doing all the partying, but I did desire a different group of friends. And excuse me. But when I realized that I was like, I have to let these guys go so that I can choose something different. Because I knew that if I just kept hanging out with them, that eventually I'd probably just be dragged back into the whole thing, right? So it was like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to let them go. I'm going to, and a couple of them kind of stayed my friend for a little while, but, not very long because we were vibrating at a different frequency. There was no longer any drugs or alcohol in my system for a while. And I even went like extreme, which I tend to do, and went vegan, vegetarian for 10 years on top of that. So I not only changed my diet, I changed my friends, right? But there was a death and there was a change. There was something really dramatically needed to change, because I knew deep down in my heart that if I kept going on the path that I was going, I would be dead within a few years. Like, it was very clear to me. Like, if I kept going, now that might be a little extreme. You may not be in like this kind of life or death situation, but still there might be something in you that's like, I really want to go to a different level, but this group of people or this thing, this maybe an addiction or like this thing is holding me back from going to this next level that I keep saying I want or I desire, but I can't get there unless I let this go. And I know that part's not easy, because I as somebody, I just know my heart. I care deeply. I care about people. I don't like to let people go. I want to take everybody with me. This has actually cost me more than it has helped me in my life. Trust me. So if you could take anything from today, let people choose their own path and not try to take them with you or drag them with you. Because a lot of people don't want to go where you want to go. But be okay with going where you want to go, even if nobody else wants to go with you, because the people that fall away create that space for the new people that do want to go where you want to go to show up. But again, if you don't let go of that relationship to find another relationship, then there's kind of this, there's no space and there's no energy even, right? Like think about that as somebody. I'll talk about myself. I'm so good at that. So wanting to save everybody, wanting to help everybody, wanting to bring everybody along. Well, that for one, that takes an awful lot of energy, right? Like how much energy does it take for you to like drag somebody to a concert or drag somebody to a spiritual revival than it is to like have 5 friends that are like fired up out of their minds to go with you because they want to go too, and like feel the energy of that. Like these people really want to go with you. They want to create with you. They love the way that you see the world. They're more open-minded, right? And then there's this other group that you're trying to like convince, like, hey, the world out there is so magical. Did you know, you could change anything? And do you believe in magic, And they're like in survival mode or in numbing out mode. Now, please believe me when I have absolutely no judgments, because I did it all. I was in numbing out mode. I was in finding the right relationship mode, all of it in an effort to try to find where I would feel whole and complete. Well, the feelings of being whole and complete can only come from one place. And this may not land very well for most of you, but hopefully some of you can hear it. Whole and complete only lives in you. It's not based on how much money you're making. It's not based on how many followers you have. It's not based on how many friends you have, or the right relationship or the wrong relationship. Now, I do want to say this is kind of a little bit of a caveat too, right? I'm also not giving you relationship advice and telling you that you should now go get a divorce or something like that, because you have to find what's true for you in your own path. But I do invite you to look at every relationship in your life, your work relationships, your romantic relationships, your staff, maybe some of your coworkers, your friends, your family. Ooh, and I bet you I'm triggering some people out there when I say family. Believe it or not, family is also a choice. And I know some of you don't believe that because you're like, I'm born into this family. It's not true. You can actually choose, because you don't have to put up with abuse from anyone. That includes family. I don't know why but I had to say that. Like, right? You're not destined to put up with abuse because they're family members, and you somehow need to deal with it because they're your family. Absolutely not. So you can choose your family, but it's like paying attention to, okay, this frequency or this vibration that this person is in. So I'll even use myself as an example again. I do have a family member. I have quite a few, but I do have one in particular that we're just on a different frequency. And there's no judgment at all, but there's nothing for us to talk about, because that person's always in trauma and drama, and I don't talk about trauma and drama. That's just not, I'm not interested in talking about trauma and drama. right? Is it possible for the people in your life to change? Yes, possibly, but you have to change first. You have to make that leap first. You have to choose the next level first, right? And I know some of my staff right now, for the last 5 months, I've been going through this massive growth spurt of myself and change in myself. And I know that some of my staff have already gone away, and some of my staff want to go with me, but I can tell that they're having to go through their own growth right now, because in order for them to go with me, they're going to have to grow, right? We're all going to have to expand together. And then maybe they will choose that, maybe they won't choose that, but I can tell some of them are being stretched. But how cool. But that's only because I'm choosing something different. It's not because I wanted them to, or I'm trying to drag them along. I didn't actually even say anything to any of them. But I can just tell by the choices I've been making and what I've been doing and the inner work that I've been doing and the change that I've been going through has them, making some changes. So I guess I wanted to share this because I also know that part of it's not easy, especially when you care about people. And like, I care about people, and I want them all to go with me. Then sometimes feel like walking half in one world, part-time in the other. Yeah, absolutely. And you can do that. Kimberly, you can. Like, it's none of it. There is no right or wrong, good or bad here. But then what are you choosing? And then you can see that your choices are what are creating your reality around you. But as you change now, hi, Amara. Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. Thanks for popping on. Gals. Yeah, there's both of you here, gals and guys. But that, that willingness to grow beyond maybe some of the people that you care about and invite them, not drag them, because inviting them and dragging them is completely different. Dragging them, right, is painful. It's painful for them. It's painful for you. But choosing something greater for yourself is now inviting them to choose something greater for themselves. And they may or may not choose it, but you're not wrong and they're not wrong. You're not wrong for choosing something greater for yourself, and they're not wrong for not wanting what you want. Nobody in this world probably wants what you want. Now, some of them will go on the journey with you and maybe choose to grow and evolve with you, but they're not going to choose the same things as you, because their journey and their path is their path. So I wanted to share this because I really felt like, I know that especially if we have people joining our free Bridging Realms Facebook group. We'll post the link in the comments. You can definitely come over there. If you've had a spontaneous spiritual awakening, or you have some spiritual gifts and you don't know what to do with them, by all means, join this group. If it's fun for you and light for you, it's free, right? But the point is that there's a lot of people right now going through this spontaneous spiritual awakening. And I hear a lot of people want to tell their husbands or, tell all their friends. And I'll be honest with you, all the friends. So as you know, I partied like a rock star in my 20s. When I turned 30, I quit everything cold turkey. 6 months later, I became a clairvoyant medium. The 6 months later becoming a clairvoyant medium, I was not calling the friends from my 20s going, hey, guess what? I can now see dead people and aliens. That was not, I instinctively knew that was not going to create greater for anybody, right? They're like, okay, what drugs do you want? So I didn't do that. So when you're having these sorts of awakenings or these changes or these growth spurts, however it's showing up for you, you're going to be that different frequency. And the people around you, you have to, I would just say, have a lot of compassion for them. have a lot of grace for them, but don't necessarily feel like you have to tell them everything, especially if you know they can't receive it. So ask a question. Are you open to hearing what I'm aware of? Or are you open to hearing what I know of, instead of just saying all the things? And I know that that's difficult for those of us who are gifted and getting stronger gifts and stuff like that. We want to share them. We want to like tell people about them. Oh, this is so cool. Did you know blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, no, you're crazy, right? So then you doubt yourself instead of talking to and being in a community of people that are at a different frequency, right? To be with people that you can have those sorts of open conversations with, that are excited for you, right? And not necessarily talking to the people that can't hear you and are really concerned about you, probably because you're telling them too much. So yeah, that like being willing to be different and let go of the energies that are not in alignment with that and where you're headed, and then allow the energies that are in more of a frequency of where you are now or where you want to go. Let them show up. But that's not always easy because we care, we want to take everybody with us, and we may not see this other space yet or this community yet, right? We may not see the new partner because we haven't let go of the old one, or the old one we just recently let go of. So we can't see the new relationship or possibility yet. So there's this in-between space. And that's where I've personally been for the last 5 months or so. Is this in between, like knowing that I'm headed to something different, but not necessarily knowing exactly where I'm headed, but also knowing that what I've created up until now is complete. And so letting that go and being like, okay, I surrender. I relax. I receive. I let the universe prompt me, but it's been kind of quiet. So that is, and I wanted to talk to a different piece of that because this was also something that I went through, was you may have some experience with your, sorry, Kimberly said, cool, okay. Gently ease them in. Yep, meditation. Meditation's helpful. Yep, for sure. So I've had this happen a couple of times, and I didn't know what it was until a little while ago, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys some information. So, how many of you, and you can even comment in the comments, like how many of you know that you have spirit guides? Like you've connected with them, or you at least know they're there, or you have some sense of them, or maybe you've been in full-on dialogue or communication with them for a long time. Go ahead and say me in the comments. Just like, do you know that you have a spiritual team that's there to have your back? So I share this because I have had times in my life. Awesome. Yep, Chris, I do. Yep. Bob, nice. Awesome. I have shared this often, or I have experienced this a couple times. I'll say that I'm very aware. My team is very much in my field. They're very clear. I'm very connected. I'm very in tune with them. I see them, I feel them, I know they're there. That. Have you ever, thank you for those of you who saying yes and me, awesome. And then for those of you, have you ever had a time where it felt like your team like went away, or it got really quiet, or they seemed to get really distant. Anybody have that experience? You can say, I have, or I did, or so this is something I've gone through, like I said, a few times. And the first time I really didn't know what was going on because they were so clear and they were so in there with me. And then suddenly it wasn't like they were gone, but it did seem like they got quiet. So I early on I learned one of my spiritual team is Gabriel. But what I've learned with Gabriel is Gabriel will come at big change times, but he goes away once I've gotten through it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Kimberly says energy though lately has been moving thick. It's not flowing as freely as it should. Yep, I gotcha. And yep, Julie says I have. Chris says I have, but I think it's because I've become too busy with life to pay attention to their presence. Absolutely, that too, Chris. I've seen that happen too. And one of the things that I've learned is that there are times in your life where they back up. I'm just going to say, because I don't believe that they ever like go completely away. It can seem that way when you get too busy. Absolutely. But also when you're going through a change, when you're at a crossroads, when you're about to make a choice for your life, right? You're going to choose a different path, or you're going to choose a different partner. Or you're going to like, there's some sort of big change you're about to make. They will actually back up and let you choose that. It's about you learning to trust yourself and make your own choices. And they're not going to interfere. Of course, they're there to help us if you ask for their help, but they're not going to interfere with our choices. And if you're at a crossroads and you could go either way, you're like, okay, go this way, or I could go this way. Which one am I going to choose? And then I do know that sometimes you'll have a changing of the guard. So sometimes your spiritual team will change based on the choices you make. Not all of them. There's obviously like kind of a core group that stay with you for, I don't know if it's forever, or if it's just this lifetime, but then there's a changing of the guard based on what choices you've made. So again, it's like, I love how if you can just think about the word space, and like when you give yourself space for something else to show up, or you let go of something to give yourself space so that new people or new opportunities or possibilities can show up, or you have this like where the spiritual guides give you space so that you can maybe just take care of your everyday life stuff, or you could just like, oh, I see. I have a choice I have to make here, and I'm the one to make it. It's not my team's job. It's not something else. And I have to have that choice. And then when I do, that gives the space for the changing of the guard. So I talk about that too, because I know that when you're going through a big change, and you might be losing some friends or some family, some people who like think now maybe you're crazy, and you also feel like, hey, my spiritual team is really quiet right now. What happened with them? That you're just going through a change. You're just going through a shift. You're just taking another spiritual awakening. You might be going through another dark night of the soul, but there's some sort of shift happening that just makes you feel like you're alone and in this, going through this by yourself. And what I always like to say, and I think is really important for you to just remember, is you're not alone, and you're not going through this alone. Your team is still there. They've just taken a step back, so they're not interfering with what your choice is. And then now you can make a choice. Which way do you want to choose to go? And maybe you've already made that change. Maybe you've already made that choice, or maybe you're right in the middle of it. And it can feel a little daunting sometimes. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, Chris says, I feel like that. I feel that. Been sleeping. Yeah, Sleeping a lot, definitely a change. Yeah. And now Bob says, I've had to leave, actually, now that I think of it. Yeah, because they've done their job, or they've done what they came to contribute, because it's not really a job for them, but right, they came here to contribute something for you, and then they're like, oh, you don't need me anymore. You don't have to be here anymore. I know in the early days, I think for me, Gabriel was safe and nurturing, and I felt I felt safe, because I really resisted my gifts in the beginning. So he was kind of my rock. So it was sad for me when he left, but then I noticed, oh, at times in my life he's come back, and then he'll leave again. So interestingly enough, he happens to be here right now. So all right, lovelies, thank you for everybody who's been commenting and listening. We are going to take a short break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to do a really cool meditation, and just to kind of help us through this change, especially if you're in the middle of it, or if you've just come out of it, just kind of allowing us to let go of what we need to let go of, so we can move forward in the coming months. I'll see you soon.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be, by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Awesome. Welcome forward. Yes. Yes, the dark night of the soul. Kathy said, when you said you're surprised there was more in dark night of the soul. Yes, there can be many in varying degrees, but I was surprised. Yes, I was surprised to learn that there was more than one, because up until that point, I'd only been through one. So, yeah, but welcome forward, and thank you. Let me know in the comments if something I said in the first half of today contributed something to you. I'd love to hear. I just like to know, hey, that, this is helpful. I know when we're going through the change, I know I said this already, but I think it's good to repeat it today. It's just that when you're going through the change, it's not always easy, and it's not always fun. But you did ask for something different. So the change that's here right now is happening because you asked for something different. And in that asking is when the universe says, okay, you asked for something different. Let's bring it to you. So hopefully that helped you in some way. And now we'll do a guided visualization meditation for today. If you're driving, just save this for later. And if you're not driving, then go ahead and just relax into your seat. Let yourself find a comfortable, quiet space. And gently closing your eyes. And focusing on your breath. Let it be easy. Let it be soft. Let your body relax. With each inhale, breathe in clarity. With each exhale, release pressure and the need to figure it out. Inhale clarity that is your natural birthright. And exhale force and trying to figure things out. And relax. And imagine yourself standing at a crossroads. And you have a path that is behind you. It is a path that you've already walked. But when you come upon the crossroads, you see that there are 3 different paths to choose from. And relax. We'll start this adventure today with the acknowledgement that none of the paths that you choose, even if you chose to go back the way you came, is wrong or bad. But you're here, right now, standing on this crossroads. And just observe without judgment. You can notice as you look down one way, maybe look down the one to your left. And maybe in the distance you see some storm clouds, some lightning and some rain, some thunder. Now, lightning, rain, and thunder are not wrong or bad, but we're just kind of observing the paths from a distance right now. And then take a look at the path in front of you. And maybe you notice in the distance that there's a lot of very tall, snowy mountains. And then you look down this path to your right. And it just seems like it's flat and goes on forever. There's not a lot of weather going on. It kind of looks like just blue skies for as far as the eye can see. And that the path just keeps going past the horizon. Now, none of these paths is the right path. And while one path might look like the easy path, is it really? But now you get to make a choice. You get to choose. And whatever you saw in the distance might be different than what I saw, so trust what you saw. But just having this awareness of like, okay, there's this energy to my left, and there's this climb going forward, and there's this, is it ease to the right, or is it flat? And I want you to just drop down into your gut, drop down into your heart and into your gut, and really connect with your intuition, your knowing. Where does your gut, where does your intuition, your knowing, your awareness, where does your awareness say to go? If you know anything about storm clouds come and go. So it might be stormy at first, but it might actually open up to something even greater. While the path ahead might look like a lot of steep mountains to climb, does it actually wind around the mountains and come out the other side? A lot of this you will not know until you choose it. And your choices create awareness. So you can't stand at the crossroads forever and hope to actually know what the outcome will be if you choose that route. But instead choose it and find out. Great news. If you choose it and you go down one path and it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, or it doesn't head in the direction that you thought it was going to, or that frequency, it doesn't match that frequency of what you want to create in your life, you can come back here and choose again. And there's many paths to choose, right? It's not like there's only 3. We're just using 3 today for fun. And maybe this path to the right that looks so easy and looks like it's flat and doesn't require much effort, and right, maybe it ends up being a path through the desert in the hot sun. Or maybe it just ends up going nowhere. It always goes somewhere, but you know what I mean. Like it's like, again, it just might not be, might look easy up front, but then we tend to get in there and be like, maybe this wasn't the easy path after all. Looks can be deceiving, especially in the beginning, right? But as you drop down into your heart, as you drop down into your gut, and you just, where is that energetic pull? Where are you feeling pulled to go? Maybe you can tune into like what is heavy or light, or what expands your universe or contracts it. So you might start to walk down one path thinking, oh, this path is beautiful and this is a path that I would want to go on. And it just feels heavy. It just like a lead balloon enters into your gut. Trust that and turn around and choose another one. And maybe you test out all 3 and you just like go down a little bit just to see the energy, and you're like, okay, I like this energy. This energy is tingly and fun. Or this one feels hard and heavy. This one feels, maybe you feel kind of neutral, nothing. Neutral and nothing is also not wrong. There is no good or bad, right or wrong, but neutral may not be difficult or challenging, but it also may not give you what you actually desire, right? Because it's neutral. And as you're standing here at the crossroads, I just want you to become aware of your spiritual team that's all around you. They may be close, they may be, a little bit farther away, just giving you space to choose. But I just want you to see their support. I want to see that they're there for you. Maybe you see your guardian angels. Maybe you can perceive the earth beneath your feet. Maybe the earth is communicating something for you too, right? Just allow yourself to choose what's light for you. And these can be cognitive, very clear, like this is choice A, this is choice B, this is choice C. You may have that already in your universe right now. That's okay. But for those of you who don't have that, that's okay too, right? It's just about, okay, let's just choose a path. Let's choose the path that feels the most in alignment with what I've been asking for. And trust yourself. Begin to go down that path. And again, as you go down that path, notice, how do you feel? How does your body feel? What are you aware of? Do you suddenly have this imaginary skip in your step? Do you feel like skipping? Do you feel like running? Do you feel like running away? Whatever feelings are arising, whatever awareness you're getting right now, just enjoy it. Make it wrong or judge it. But know that at any moment, if you want to change your mind and turn around, you can do so. Just allow yourself to experience what you are aware of, what feelings you have in your body. And maybe this is a journey that begins with a single step. And you made a choice. And how this journey turns out doesn't matter right now, because that's not the point of today. Today, the point is making a choice, choosing a direction, and going in that direction. And go in that direction until you don't want to go in that direction anymore, or the energy stops. And then you can choose again. But I also encourage you, for those of you who are not having that, like, okay, actually, this is heavy for me, this is contracting for me, to lean in, to go farther, to keep going. You may be in a very uncomfortable state right now, and I totally understand that. And at the same time, I encourage you to keep going. You've made a choice. You were at a crossroads. Your whole spiritual team was there with you, and you chose a direction. Now see it through. See what it creates. Go all the way. Trust yourself. Trust your knowing. Trust that you made the best choice for you today. Again, you can choose something different later or tomorrow. But there was something in that path, or that trail, that felt right to you. It felt light to you. It felt true for you. It felt like the frequency that you have been asking for. Like I said, once you take the path, maybe the storm that you saw in the distance, by the time you get there, is blown away. Or the mountains that you saw in the distance, you end up going around. Or maybe there's something just over the horizon on the other path that you couldn't see from here until you took that first step, and then another. Whatever choice you make today, trust it. Trust yourself. Trust that you know what you know. Trust. And then let it unfold before you. You may not see what's next or what's really coming from choosing that path right now, but you know that you're headed in that direction. Instead of a stalemate, standing at the crossroads, trying to figure out which one to choose, just choose. Go for it. See what it creates. And if it doesn't create what you desire or you want, you can choose something different. And every choice creates awareness. So you choose, and then you become aware. So maybe you chose the more difficult route. And then you realize, wow, I always choose the difficult route. Maybe I don't have to choose the difficult route. Maybe I can choose something different. And sometimes we have to keep choosing the difficult route until we realize, oh, I keep choosing the difficult route. I think I want to try a different route now. Breathe that in. Exhale out. And just re-emphasize that you made a choice, you're heading in that direction. This isn't about the outcome today. It's just about making a choice, choosing to change, letting the relationships that maybe were no longer serving you or don't want to go where you want to go. And go on your journey, your adventure. This is your life anyway. Fingers, toes, slowly opening your eyes. Beautiful. Happy Beltane. Nice. She saw horses to the right. Not a big snow person, but when coming to make decisions, the song is like rain on your wedding day. So that's the way to go. Nice. Claim cranberry. I'm not sure what that means, Robin, but cool. Awesome. So thank you, everyone. I'm super grateful for you. I hope that was a contribution to you. This is a recording, so you can always come back and listen to that again and again, especially if you find yourself at a crossroads. But just remember, you're not alone, and your spiritual team is still with you and supporting you, and just choose. See what it creates. Adore you all. I'll see you next week. Bye.